Alright, so Dying Light the Beast, Techland's latest zombie project is finally here, and let me tell you, it's easily one of the wildest rides I've had in a while. If you're coming off Dying Light 2, you're probably curious how this stacks up, and honestly, the Beast feels like a return to the grungy roots that made the first game unforgettable, but with way more teeth and a whole lot more attitude.
For 13 years, he tortured me. He's gonna pay for what he made me become. My name is Kyle Crane. And finally, I'm out. They don't even know what they've unleashed.
Let's start with the story, since for once in a Dying Light game, it actually matters. You're back in the battered sneakers of Kyle Crane, but instead of just another zombie apocalypse survivor, he's basically half human, half monster now, thanks to a decade he'd probably rather forget, locked up and experimented on by a villain who gives mad scientist a new meaning. Right out of the gate, Crane's got this cold, grizzled vibe. He's angry, less talkative, and ready to rip through anybody standing in his way. And honestly, that change in personality, it's a huge upgrade. You actually care what happens to him, and the revenge angle keeps the campaign feeling personal instead of just another fetch quest through city ruins. The world this time is Castor Woods, and it's a total atmosphere bomb. Daytime lets you breathe a bit, scavenge for scraps, find safe zones, and sneak through alleys dodging zombies just enough to grab supplies. The map is packed with verticality. Rooftops, broken highways, sunken buildings, abandoned subway lines. Exploration actually feels rewarding here because there is secrets stashed all across the map. Sometimes it's a rare blueprint, other times it's a weird bit of lore or a side quest that throws you into the deep end with a twisted story like helping out survivors who have just as much bite as the infected. But when the sun goes down, forget about casual looting. Night is a living nightmare in the Beast. Volatiles aren't just randomly wandering around, they're organized, they hunt in packs, and they're scary fast. The game doubles down on the intensity. Your flashlight's flicker could mean you've got 10 seconds to set up a safe corner or get ready to sprint for your life. The chase music cranks up and the tension hits a level where I genuinely jumped a couple of times, not even kidding. Running at night is still risky, but the rewards for braving it are way better now. Higher chances for rare loot and more XP. So if you want your Crane to max out skills and find special gear, you gotta face the monster horde under a full moon. Speaking of movement, the parkour system honestly feels the best it's ever been. Dying Light always knew how to make jumping, climbing, and wall running feel slick, but now it's got extra polish. Chaining together rooftop leaps, swinging off ledges, wall running, and sliding under debris feels buttery smooth, and they've added a ton of new animations too. There's even a few moments where you'll need to string together parkour moves to escape huge enemy crowds or pull off cinematic set pieces. The controls just feel right, responsive, weighty, but not sluggish, so when you mess up a jump, it's usually on you and not the game. Combat's next level, no joke. The new Beast Mode powers are basically Crane's version of going full John Wick meets Hulk, and when you unlock those late in the story, you'll know. Regular melee fights are still crunchy, pipes, swords, bats, even a weird shovel, but when you Hulk out, it's like a mini power fantasy. Sneaking's finally useful too. Stealth takedowns actually matter, especially in the early hours when you're just a regular guy avoiding overwhelming mobs. Guns are easier to get now compared to earlier games, but make no mistake, they're loud, and every shot risks spawning more virals. Picking and customizing weapons has some real depth. Durability, crafting, repairs, upgrade blueprints, all the little stats matter more now, but it never bogs you down with too much math. Boss fights, oh man. There are some truly off-the-wall encounters like facing off against mutated monsters that fill subway tunnels or human bandit leaders who are just as crazy as the infected. The fights aren't just big health bars. They demand dodging, using parkour, thinking about your gear, and sometimes using beast mode strategically to punch through their defenses. And yes, the drop kick is still a thing and still incredibly satisfying on anything that moves. The open world is busy with distractions. Some standout side quests have you protecting survivor outposts from bandit raids, hunting mutated infected and abandoned hospitals, and tracking down lore breadcrumbs that actually flesh out the world and make Castor Woods feel alive. There are resource farms, safe zone upgrades, and farmable quests where you can grind out scrap and loot from cleverly respawning hordes. For example, in early areas, you'll get bandits messing with alarm systems to spawn fast zombies. You can actually use this to your benefit and build up resources for the tougher missions. Just don't get swarmed and panic. Co-op gets a special mention because it's just more fun with friends. You can jump into missions together, trade gear, and coordinate on tougher boss fights or wild night raids. Progression syncs better this time, so you don't lose your upgrades when swapping hosts. Not everything's perfect, though. Early hours are a little slow, some human enemies are still just bullet sponges, and there are a couple of missions where you're stuck fighting the camera, especially in tight spaces. The XP loss on death is real, so patience pays off until you're powered up. A few bugs creep in, as with any open-world launch, but patches and player feedback already seem to be smoothing out the rough spots. Overall, Dying Light the Beast absolutely delivers for fans of tense, fast-paced zombie survival. The parkour is stellar, the combat slaps, the story finally gives us a main character with bite, and the world is rough, mean, and surprisingly packed with heart. If you're loving skidding across rooftops, improvising crazy zombie traps, and going beast mode in wild crowd fights, this game is the one for you. So is it the best zombie game of the year? Honestly, yeah. If you're hungry for an open-world post-apocalypse that just won't let you catch your breath, Dying Light the Beast should be on your playlist. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a night chase to survive, and maybe a few drop kicks to hand out.